Well, hello and welcome to another edition of 907 Sports. This is Tyler Lane. I'm Jordan Rodenberger calling the plays in this one. As a pretty nice day here in the South Central, but it hasn't necessarily been like that all week or the last few weeks. And you just completed your second winter. I guess not yet. Your second winter in Alaska. Not quite finished yet. We can see the finish line, not quite there yet. Just kind of thoughts on these last two winters you've experienced so far.
Yeah, the first one being the snowy, one of the snowiest ever. This one, not as much snow, right on the time when I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll actually get out there, do a little snow camping, a little winter camping. Yeah. Not so much this time, so maybe the third time's the charm?
We'll hope to see. Yeah, you go from record snow to no snow. Yeah. Just expect the unexpected and always be prepared. You never know what you're going to get. So either way, our spring sports windows are very small. So either way, the show goes on. We're going to be playing. And of course, the Dome has been home for a lot of these sports as of late. Many track and field meets being held there this week and over recent weeks, including one of the biggest of the year, the Big C Relays, a big meet that includes small schools. They're all getting a chance to perform, set some PRs, maybe get those early season times in on the year, and it was a lot of fun, so much fun that I, in fact, had to leap in on the action.
Well, we are jumping into the high school track and field season here in Alaska, where one of the first big meets of the year is the Big C Relays here at the Dome.
We have a total of 40 teams showing up over the weekend, and I think 1,020, 1,030 athletes in total. So it's pretty packed.
The Big C Relays, a big meet that includes small schools.
Oh, it's awesome. It's really fun. It's a little bit scary coming from a smaller school. It's definitely intimidating, but cool to get to have the opportunity to race with such big schools and talented people.
We put everyone on an even playing field. So you might have the state champion from last year going against a freshman from a small school, and it's never going to happen for them again except here.
A chance to showcase your talent and your community.
Our town's it's a fishing town, but it's built around high school sports too. And track is one of the bigger ones, and everyone wants to do it.
A meet where you can meet new friends.
I think this event is more than just a track, it's a social activity.
And reconnect with old ones.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see everyone and get to see people from all over the state and kind of feel the big meet feelings.
And can even take home some special hardware.
One of the highlights is the Alaska Airlines pentathlon. It has the pentathlon title on it. We have the Life Med Alaska, Fastest Alaska, that's what's happening right now. There's a lot of clout for the kids that end up being the fastest after the 3 heats.
And Saturday, more events and more awards to hand out, including the fastest Alaskan in the 100-meter dash, which if I have any chance of winning, I better get loose. Jordan Rodenberger, Alaska's news source.
Still a little sore from that one.
Still?
Yeah.
Still just a little bit?
Yeah, recovering. And if you think I just nailed that jump on the first one, here's track coach explaining to me, do not foul, do not foul. First thing I do is foul. So they had to rake it up and all that good stuff. But they were great sports, so let me jump into the pit a couple times just to get the right shot, the things we do in the TV biz.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting in there myself, and then I saw you, and I was like, yeah, maybe not so much. But besides that, a lot of great performances all around. You had Eagle River setting a new 4x100 meet record, featuring fastest Alaskan Tice Escott, and another meet record in the long jump set by Sarah Dittman, the future UAA track star, at 17 feet and 10.5 inches, and both of them earning our Athlete of the Week honor.
It's an event that ends as quickly as it begins. 6 racers, 100 meters, and 1 honor on the line. The title of the fastest Alaskan. In a flash, that distinction now belongs to Sarah Dittman.
It feels really good. I feel like I've worked really hard over the last season. I do multis, so 100 isn't really one of my events, but I really wanted to try it this meet at least, so my coach let me do that, and I was really excited.
She's put in the work. I mean, it's really, she deserves everything she gets because she puts the time in. Just a great athlete, great person.
Dashing to the finish line in 12.61 seconds, the Lynx senior is starting her last season in eye-popping fashion. And on the peninsula, a So-High star can say the same.
I didn't expect to win at all, but I'm just glad I could go and do my best.
Tice Escott, still just a junior for Soldotna, now one of the best in program history.
That's really cool, you know, to win that at this track meet. First one in Soldotna school history. First one to run 11-0 in 30 years at Soldotna High School, so really, really cool stuff.
New PRs that these racers still have time to beat, both in the 100 and elsewhere.
I would love to jump a big PR in my long jump. I have 18.1 right now, and state record's 19.5, so hopefully somewhere around there.
Tyler Lane, Alaska's news source.
Being named, fastest Alaskan. That's a pretty cool title that you can have bragging rights over everybody. Yeah, I'm the fastest Alaskan. What of it?
Yeah, I think they were setting PRs, and I believe Dittman especially, you know, she said she doesn't do this all that often. 100 isn't really her thing compared to some of the other events she does.
Yes.
And so to be able to just go out there, and I asked her, you know, hey, how's it feel, you know, something you don't try? You're the best in the state. That doesn't happen all that often.
No kidding. And excited to see her at UAA next year and see what types of school or conference records she may break, because her jumping abilities is something special that I'm looking forward to seeing at the state track meet later in the year. And of course, Dome. Track's not the only thing going on there. You see the pickleball courts, people lifting weights, kids running around, all that good stuff. But of course, in the center stage, in the middle of it, a lot of soccer happening there for sure.
Yeah, definitely some good matches so far. Just a handful into the season so far with all the highlights, including West Anchorage's Noah Robinson hitting a hat trick in a win over Chugiak. Jared Mariaki makes his presence known for Diamond in their win over South Anchorage. And then, Jordan, I think you got a little more there?
Well, we had some fun inside the Dome, but I think we're about ready to go outside no matter what level or what time of year it is. We are looking at Wasilla and Colony in a little bit, but first, of course, a great girls game that was highlighted this year with Diamond at South, of course, ending in a draw with all those state championship matches.
Yeah, and out in the valley in the Matsu, snowfall on and off still, you know, in that season, that did nothing to slow down one of the best teams in the 49 state. Diamond prevailing 5-1 over the Colony Knights. Caitlin Seibert hitting that clock stopper right there to close things out. And you always have to be prepared for those tough conditions, but if you had to ask Coach Will Lucero for the Lynx, he's right where he wants to be.
We had a fun, like I said, a good snow day yesterday, having fun. But at the same time, it's different when you play outside in this kind of weather. It's kind of cold. The balls are a little heavy sometimes. The players are a little cold. They're having to adjust to it, and you can tell. But you know, all in all, it's going to come out. It's going to come out and have a game outside. I'll take that any day.
And just down the road, Wasilla and Service leaving the field in a draw. Some nice defending from Nevaeh Dunlap and Larkin Minor, leading to 2-0 on the scoreboard. That's the part of soccer I don't think a lot of people like, but hey, I'm here for it. I love defense just as much as offense. Give me all you can.
No, and shout out to them. You know, these Alaskan athletes are some of the toughest, you know, we got going on competing in these elements. Just like I said, to make up for that short window we have, you know, sports having to wrap up first week of June, so hey, we're going to get these games in while we can. As far as a couple other spring sports to note, baseball and softball, most teams are continuing practices in the gym, waiting for those fields to melt and dry up, but we do have some places like Sitka and in Kodiak. We got a big tournament here this week coming up with the likes of Colony, South, Wasilla, and West Valley visiting the island to get their seasons underway. First game in Anchorage is scheduled for April 16th at Bartlett, but of course we'll kind of see how that goes, kind of a fluid calendar for that. But for now, teams are just making the most of the gyms, hallways, and football fields at their schools.
I'm pumped, you know, it's always nice to get back out, especially after the snow's gone, the long winter. Everyone's excited, we're all pumped for the season and what it brings.
For me as a teacher this time of year, always, you know, some teachers kind of like, they get kind of worn down in the fourth quarter. This is where I start revving up because it starts my season here. So I'm really excited to get back out here. We got a good group of guys this year and looking forward to having a good season and working hard.
That's fantastic. You know, snow's finally melted, got the sun out. It's, you know, it's a blast to be able to get outside every day and play.
And I think coming from the lower 48 myself, where you don't really have to worry about the conditions as much, I think specifically going to the South practice earlier a few weeks ago and seeing, I'm looking at the muddy field and wondering, how are they going to practice on this? Are they even going to be here, coach? What the heck? And then, you walk in the building and you see the setup, you see the cages, you see the machines. It's really incredible what they can do with these spaces, both, indoors and, with football fields and things like that.
Yes, whatever we can have. And yeah, those championship runs, they don't start once you get outside. They happen in the gym in those off season, making the most. I mean, I've grown up in Fairbanks playing baseball. We would physically hand shovel the fields. Like that was our practice a couple days a week just to get that field prepped and dried so we can have a form of a season. So shout out to all those spring sports athletes making it happen no matter what. And looking forward to this baseball season as it gets underway. Checking on the South practice earlier. They're always in the mix as well. Checking out Service tonight to kind of see where they are stacking up. They have the target on their back. And, of course, Eagle River really wants some of that revenge from last year's losses.
Definitely, and obviously checking with Eagle River as well. Something I found out, Liam Learman, their pitcher, now already talking with Washington. So maybe a little potential down the line in college with Cohen, obviously, over there in Oregon right now. So maybe a future college matchup down the line that we could be seeing from right here in the last frontier.
Yeah, that's a couple of Division I baseball players in this kind of class that you may not see. You mentioned Cohen, Liam, and then Cohen's younger brother, Rylan, is going to be right in those conversations as well. And then, of course, not to mention all the D1 soccer players and D2 soccer players that we mentioned. You can check out on our website for that full story. So it's not hampering these athletes at all. They're making the most of it and still producing and performing at a high level, able to get scholarships and continue their careers, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, most definitely. Always getting the eyes on where you can, and we'll see throughout the rest of this spring to see what these athletes really do for the season that they have.
Yes, and so hopefully next time on 907 Sports, we'll see a little bit more outdoor activity, but we'll be following along. We also have some Alaska Sports Hall of Fame awards being announced next week, so we'll kind of keep you up to date on that as well. But as always, nightly news sportscasts on Alaska's news source, and check in on our website. And with 907 Sports, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you next time.